Hey there, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Saturday, April 27th. Hope you're doing well and having a fantastic weekend. In this video, we're going to do another edition of Rapid Fire News Updates for the period April 20th to the 26th. And again, this is just to go over a high-level overview, no deep dive details or anything like that, and try to keep the video to around 10 to 15 minutes. And there's a lot to get to today, so we'll jump right to it. Before we do, though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So directly into the news here, 6 in 10 Americans are surprised that MJ hasn't been legalized across the U.S. yet, says poll. So absolutely, we're seeing the stigma go away slowly but surely, and it's really happening at an exponential rate now. And it's great to see because we know it's medicine of the future and an amazing plant medicine. Also, MJ Moment reports that ahead of 420, the White House said that Biden has been very clear in supporting MJ decriminalization, but the admin is awaiting DOJ rescheduling action. So we're still waiting on the DEA, the DOJ to come back with that final approval. It's still bass backwards that we're seeing, the enforcement agency make the final call. Why isn't it, the FDA or HHS department that decides what's medicine and what's not? Why aren't they making the final call, right? So realistically, it could come anytime. So we'll continue to monitor that. Also, Dutchy, MJ retail customers report system crashes on 420. I mentioned this on my previous video, wondering if we're going to see some outages and system bugs or crashes and whatnot on 420 because of the amount of record sales. And sure enough, it actually did happen as well, with Dutchy being one of the leading e-commerce systems. They had widespread outages on 420, but yeah, top day for sales, obviously big day for the industry. And we'll see if it happens again next year, but it's pretty amazing to see, the amount of just overall support for the industry, and everybody comes out on 420, and it really is something to behold, right? Seeing all these passionate consumers and supporters of the industry. It really is the best industry in the world, in my opinion. And I was at Canna Cabana, High Tide subsidiary or brand and company, and it was just insanely busy the whole day. Driving by, I could see tons of people lining up, and when I went in there, there was just I actually left and then came back and went back a little bit later before they closed, and it was still insanely busy. And this is likely having to do with it, right? High Tide reported approximately $2 million in retail sales just on 420. So that is something to let sink in, right? Again, just one retailer out of thousands of them. So also, Tilray Brands celebrates Epic 420 weekend with over 20,000 fans across the U.S. I've seen some of the videos on X, on Twitter, and it was really something to behold. We had something, we had 20,000 fans. There was always something going on, whether it be music or some sort of festival. And Irwin Simon was at the brewery. He was pouring beers and things like that. So right there in the trenches, and that's what you want to see from a CEO, in my opinion. Also, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tweet about MJ at exactly 420 on 420. Obviously, it probably wasn't Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, right? It was probably their handlers, whoever's handling their social media. But the comments were sending people to prison just for possession. MJ has upended too many lives and incarcerated people for conduct that many states no longer prohibit, the president said in a post on X. So again, you can check out the details on that if you want to learn more. Congressional lawmakers demand DEA promptly reschedule MJ regardless of internal disagreement at the agency. So again, we're seeing pressure from all angles to get this done. Congressional Progressive Caucus also says that Democrats can legalize MJ if they win the House and Senate majorities in this coming November election. So obviously, anything can happen, right? But that's, I think, pretty much, self-explanatory. It's pretty much common sense. But the only reason why they gained the Senate in the first place in 2021 was because of the fact that, they're pro-MJ stance, and arguably the case with even Biden winning the election, right? it could be said the same thing there. He was only put in the White House because of his pro MJ stance. So we'll see what happens this time around, but I'm expecting fireworks leading into the end of the year. Also, MJ Biz Daily reports that MJ MSO Cureleaf completes its $16 million acquisition of Northern Green Canada. So they now acquired a Canadian operator, very small, but still happening nonetheless. We're seeing MSOs become LPs and LPs become MSOs. Look at Cannabis USA and now acquiring acreage through that Cannabis USA holdings company. So we're starting to see it happen slowly but surely, and it's only the beginning in my opinion. Also, Trulieve to open medical MJ dispensary in North Palm Beach, Florida. And then Florida going to be on the ballot. I think that it's going to get passed and enacted into law at some point in summer of 2025. Also, 3 in 5 Americans say MJ is safer than alcohol or tobacco, survey finds. And I think, based on the 250 plus pages from HHS, that it actually has medical benefits. I think, anybody who's consumed alcohol, I can't really speak on the tobacco front, but, anybody who consumed alcohol or who has consumed or does consume, that the hangovers are brutal, and that, the negative effects it has. You can just feel it the next day on your body, right? And when you consume MJ, you don't have that, right? You very seldomly like wake up the next day and maybe you feel a little groggy, but you don't have near the hangover as you would with alcohol. And all you younger folk, you probably don't really know too much, but believe me, once you get past like 25 and 30 and beyond, the hangovers are absolutely brutal with alcohol. So definitely, a safer alternative, healthier alternative from a recreational standpoint, but, so many medical benefits as well. Also, IIPR, so Innovative Industrial Properties, to report 2024 first quarter results, and that will be for the period ended March 31st, 2024, after market close on Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, as earnings season kicks into full gear. Also, GrowGen schedules their first quarter 2024 earnings release conference call for May 8th, 2024. And we had Canada's MJ sales rising 1.7% in February year over year. So, it's only the beginning, right? We know store count in Ontario doubling from 75 to 150, only going to help convert users over from the illicit to the legal market. Edibles, in short order, in my opinion, going to be bumping up from 10 milligram to 100 milligram. That's really where the illicit market really thrives, right? Because of those caps, and then other. We'll see what happens, but there's other categories, right? Obviously, they're not into beverages, but like that's one thing I think is going to be huge as well as beverages, because the illicit market doesn't really get into the beverages, right? Because takes a lot to create those. But these gummies and whatnot, that's what I think, and then concentrates and things like that. But as we start to see, time go by, I think eventually edibles are going to get on the same playing field with everything else, and they're going to remove this ridiculous 10 milligram cap. But I think that's a big reason too as to why the illicit market is still thriving, because you can get little chocolates that have 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams in it, right? It's anything goes. So moreover, on the earnings front, Leafly to announce first quarter 2024 financial results on May 9th as well. So second week of May, going to be a big one. Also, Cresco Labs workers reportedly deunionize. So employees at Cresco in Massachusetts were among the first to in the U.S. to exit organized labor. Moving on, we had news from Tilray Brands. They were celebrating big wins at the Craft Brewers Conference in 2024 World Beer Cup, the most prestigious beer competition in the world. So congrats to Tilray on that. Very big news in my opinion, and I think craft beer is going to be on the up and up here in Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta. It's just, they call it Alberta for a reason. It's just the amount of breweries here and craft brewers. It's just staggering. And I think, it's just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. I think there's lots of growth there. And then obviously once MJ is federally permissible in the US, they can infuse that with MJ and easily make that into, and they're building the scale, right? They're starting to scale it, and they have that experience now. And you're seeing that with their alcohol brands. And once, they infuse MJ into spirits and beer, it's just going to make it that easier to scale, right? And they already have the network and the distribution there. Also, Vice President Kamala Harris highlights MJ pardons at another White House event with presidential clemency recipients. And we had Kim Kardashian and 4 people who received presidential pardons for drug-related convictions on Wednesday at a round table. So big name there in Kim Kardashian, and we're just going to continue to see more attention, and the more big names that get into the space or that support and advocate for the industry as well, and the more companies, we know Apple, Amazon, Uber, all backing reform as well. So it definitely feels like this time is different. And like I said, we're going to have some sort of reform here, whether it be MJ banking or rescheduling. I think rescheduling Schedule 3 announcement really is the most likely scenario over the next, I was hopeful that it would happen in April. It's still not over. Remember, in August, no one thought that anything was going to come in August, and it was August recess, blah, blah, blah. And then on August 31st, HHS came out with the recommendations. So we'll see if they pull another fast curveball and fastball on us on Monday or Tuesday. If maybe it's the last day of the month. Who knows? But I think we're closer to it than we are. It definitely is just around the corner, in my opinion. I think it's going to happen sooner than later. Also, Charlotte's Web 2024 first quarter earnings call and webcast notice. That'll be on May 8th, 2024, before market open. Moving right along, so many tabs, sometimes get lost in it all. Also, GrowGen announces change to board of directors, and like I said, their earnings set to come up here soon as well. So if you want to read more on that, feel free to do so. To refresh this page, looks like there's a paywall here. So Organogram Holdings also announces auditor change, and not a big deal in my opinion. It happens from time to time. Also, Hawaii government says they suggest easing medical MJ access after adult use fails. So we'll see what happens here. But Hawaii, very pro. They seem very progressive and pro MJ, but hitting some roadblocks as well, similar to what we've seen in the U.S. right as at large, and in Congress, and all these bills that continue to pass the House but fail in the Senate, right? But we know Mitch McConnell is going to be stepping down as well. So out with the old, in with the new, and eventually, slowly but surely we're getting there. Also, Congress will not pursue MJ banking reform through must-pass aviation bill, industry group says. So there was hope that this could get done through that aviation bill, but it's not looking too good right now at the moment. We'll see what happens into the end of the year, but I still think that there's hope before the elections that it gets passed. But I've been on record to say that I still think that the Schedule 3 announcement and approval will happen first. Then we'll get safe banking, MJ banking, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ. And then more than likely we get rescheduling actually enacted, and then 280E goes away. That enactment could be some point late 2024 or early 2025, in my opinion. And then, a couple years after that, we get full-blown descheduling and removal from the controlled substances list, right? Similar to what Canada and Germany did. And then I just posted a video on this as well. Recent breaking news that came out late yesterday. MedMen officially announces entering bankruptcy proceedings and resignation of the chief financial officer and directors. So I created a video on this. I even discuss how does this affect Tilray, because they had some convertible debt in MedMen. So in that video, I go over that as well. So I don't want to sound like a broken record and repeat myself. So if you want to learn more, just go over to the YouTube channel and then go to videos, and it's right here. MedMen officially announces bankruptcy. What about Tilray? So I go over the news and my thoughts and opinions on that. But let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you on the next one.